Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you have joined me today. Yes, I had to come outside. I was all ready to have our tea time in my house. It was all set up. And the sun burst out and I walked on the porch. I smelled the gorgeous smell of, yes, I smelled a little bit of spring. And I thought, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to put on my fur and I'm going to have our Valentine tea together outside. I'm calling it Valentine tea on the terrace. Yes. Well, if you haven't gotten your tea yet, please pause, and I will pause, and you can get your tea, and you can come right back and join me. Okay, well, I had a bouquet of flowers on my piano. I thought I'm bringing them out for the tea talk today. And it's a combination, and actually these flowers smell so wonderful. There's the carnation, and I think it's snowdrops and chrysanthemums and just a variety of wonderful flowers. Well, I'm wearing my gloves today, and these are gloves I haven't worn these for years, but I thought for Valentine's, they're little Victorian kind of gloves. They have like a little Victorian trim, almost like a little, riding glove. And I'm sorry, my outfit is covered up with fur, but because I'm cold out here. I'm not cold, I'm actually pretty toasty with this shawl and fur on. But I'm wearing some red jewels for Valentine and a red satin heart. Not a heart, but a flower. It looks like a heart upon my hat. And I have a little red satin purse, and it all kind of matches. I love this kind of a deep, almost a maroon, satiny red for Valentine's. Actually, I love every color, and I love pink. In my house today, on my table, is a pink tablecloth with pink dishes. But for our little tea talk, I thought I'll put my purse down and I'm going to show you the tray. And what I chose was tea for one, because I know that a lot of you, Valentine's Day is on Monday, and a lot of you will be alone that day. Perhaps you'll go out to dinner on the weekend. But I want you to celebrate even if you're all alone. And this is a lovely little pot. And it's tea for one. And I'm going to pour out and show you. The pot, it sits right on the cup. Oh, it's a pretty full pot. Can you see that? Maybe a little bit of steam coming up. This is a big cup. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to put that down. And then I have a little creamer that matches it. And I'm going to pour. This china is called, it's a little bit bigger than chintz, but it's a chintz. When you have chintz, it means all of the cup or saucer is covered with flowers. And they used to have chintz wallpaper. That's where the concept came from. All flowers. Okay, let's try. That is so good. That is absolutely delicious. Tea is better outside. Yes, it is. It's a little loud today. It's Friday afternoon, and I think I hear the road and I hear some trucks going by. But I have Itzhak Perelman playing Sarasate. It's just so beautiful. And, you know, Sarasate wrote such beautiful music. It's very romantic music, actually. You know, he wrote operas and just lovely. Well, do you want to see what the little treat is for today? It's heart cookies and a little chocolate. I think that it's called a little French chocolate. Can't remember the name of that. I know a lot of you know that name. And then the little heart cookie. And my friend brought me these as a little present. And I said, whoa, I know where those are going. They're going right on the tea talk for all of my wonderful tea friends. And don't you love Valentine's Day? It's such a wonderful day because it doesn't have all the pressure of a lot of the other holidays. I love the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, but you know there's so much cooking and cleaning and presents and gifts and travel. And Valentine's Day just feels like such a relaxing holiday. Now, I brought something to show you today. This is my napkin, and I put it on a little silver dish, but it has a napkin ring. And do you see the napkin ring? It's flowers, it's tulips. Isn't that lovely? So I'm going to put that back in the little silver dish, and I think I'll just sit it right up here so we can enjoy it. Whoops, let's see. There. And you can see that. And then I'm going to open my napkin up and put it on my lap. And that is the proper way for all tea times, of course. Now, whoa, this is cozy. I also put on the tea tray today a goblet, a red goblet, because I thought it's nice to have water or a little light soda with tea. Some people like that, and I thought for Valentine's Day, I don't know, my glove is covering it, but see, isn't that beautiful? I think whenever you can get a little red glass, and I put a little candle in a red glass, and I'm going to put that right here too. I'll let it sit like that. And so we can enjoy and have the beauty. And then I have one little, wanted to show you, it's a little vase of tulips that matches that little napkin ring. Isn't that sweet? It's silk flowers. So, you know, I'm going to put those here too. There, we're getting quite a decoration here, but I would like you to enjoy it during our tea talk. Well, I was thinking about, you know, Saint Valentine, and I have met people. When I was in Europe, I met a wonderful Russian family. The man was a voice teacher, absolutely fabulous. His name was Yuri, and you can tell a good teacher by how their students play or sing. And all of his students sang with such incredible beauty and technique and projection and enunciation. You know, everybody wanted to take from Yuri. I was at a music camp. Well, and then his wife, I don't remember her name, but they had a son, and his name was Valentino, yes. And I thought, what a lovely name. And it is a popular name in Europe, in Italy, and you know, because Saint Valentine was a real man, and Saint Valentine became a saint Because he was martyred in the 3rd century. They believe he lived around 270, and he was imprisoned for his faith because he was very loving and kind, and he couldn't stop helping his fellow Christians. And so they found out he was not doing what the Romans wanted him to do, worship their gods, and so they put him in jail. Well, the story goes the jailer's daughter came, and Valentine was able to pray. She was blind and she was healed. And he wrote her notes of beauty, and I believe perhaps they fell in love and married. It's all sort of in the haze and fog of history. But because of his great deeds, he became a saint, and eventually he was martyred and died for his faith. And so this day comes to us down through history. Well, in the 18th, 17th, and 18th century, people started really celebrating it with little cakes and tea, giving gifts, and writing little poems or notes to each other. And then in the Victorian era, which is the 1800s, they started creating and making beautiful greeting cards. And you can see many of the cards even today will be what they call reproduction vintage cards, and they are really an imitation of that original Valentines in the Victorian day. So the tradition came to give little gifts, and often candy or sweets, or for a woman, a man would give her jewelry or a necklace or a ring or perhaps flowers. And these gifts would be exchanged, and then they would have a special little feast together, and a little food. And that was what Valentine's Day became. And so chocolate became very associated, and I'm so happy that I have this little French chocolate cookie. And I know the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know you people that are so good at French cookies are going to tell me what it is. I know it begins with an M, and I can just see it, but I cannot quite remember the name. But so chocolate, and then in America, heart cookies were very popular, and sprinkles and decorations, and then heart cakes. I've made a lot of heart cakes in the past. I have a heart-shaped pan for tea parties. And I think the most perfect way to celebrate Valentine's Day, other than having a romantic date with your love, would be to have a nice Valentine tea party. And it lends itself. It's a nice time to take out all the pink and red china. And I used to think it's a wonderful way to use the red candles left from Christmas. And then on March, St. Patrick's Day, I would use the green candles left from Christmas. So there's all different things that one can do. But I have been thinking this week so much about the coming of spring. Now, you know, behind me are those wonderful spring flowers, and I have them on my front porch, and they're just vibrant. And I think if you can even get a few little boxes of fresh flowers, put them on your porch, it gives such hope through the stormy weather. But look at today. It's just fabulous, isn't it? My goodness, the sun is out. Sky is blue above me. And I am just really grateful. We become grateful when we have long weeks of rain and gray, don't we, when the sun comes? Contrast is what makes life really interesting, creative, and we need contrast in our lives. We need to wear different clothing. We need to move the furniture, change things around, bring in flowers, like I said, change the dishes and use the dishes that we have. And I've been talking to some of you, and I'm so proud of you for taking out that china and using it, and having tea parties with friends and having people come in. That is so special and so important. And you know, I've never ever met anyone that regretted having a tea party. It can be a lot of work at first, but it's just like making a pie. Pies are, to me, very difficult to make. But once you make one, then the next time, if you don't let too much time go, it's a little easier, right? And that's just like a tea party. You'll get a routine, and people will bring little snacks sometimes to help out, and it just all works. I'm going to move back my little table so maybe you can at least see this tea, and I'm going to put back up on top my little 1 cup. But a tea for one, I think, is a very nice. I actually have a tea for one that my husband got me. I think I used it on one of the early tea talks from Victoria. I use that almost every morning when I have my tea. I have coffee early, and then late morning or early afternoon I have my tea, and if I'm alone, that's what I use, and it's just perfect. And it keeps it very hot, and it's just very cheery. Well, I feel like one of the most wonderful things as we recognize these holidays and celebrate them is to think about others and include others. Now, hopefully you will get this tea talk before Valentine's Day, and so take time to send a greeting or give a little gift to someone. A little pot of flowers is a wonderful gift. It doesn't have to be big. Little gifts are wonderful. And I think that it brings cheer. And things are opening up now, so that's quite good news, isn't it? Yes. Well, I think that I had been thinking about history this week, and I had been studying a little bit more when I talked to you last week about the Huguenot cross and about the fact that the dove hangs on the bottom, and you can look it up. And I found out that it's so interesting. I don't have a picture of it, but you can pull it up on your phone or on the computer. The Huguenot cross is a Maltese cross, and it's for St. John. They call it the St. John's cross. And as the 4 points come together, inside they form hearts. And it's so beautiful. And it's symbolic of the heart. And then around the inside of the heart, it looks like a crown of thorns. And then the dove hangs beneath, representing the Holy Spirit, but also representing kindness and the gentleness and the love that these wonderful people, the Huguenots, wanted to give. So I just wanted to share that because when you hear something that you find triggers an interest, just Google it. There's so much on there for all of us to learn. And it enriches us, it deepens us, it makes us stronger. And, you know, information and knowledge And good curiosity is so important for keeping us on our toes. Yeah. And it's good for the brain. Yes. Well, I just really feel that I want to encourage you this week to enjoy Valentine's Day and have a little tea party, even if it's alone, but try to have someone else come in. And as you think of spring, prepare, because I know many of you are tremendous gardeners, and you are preparing and you are getting ready, because before we know it, we're going to have these wonderful daffodils and tulips, and then we have the peonies come, and so it's time to, I've been kind of cleaning out my boxes and getting ready. Well, I hope that all of you are having a good week. And my little tea kids, I hope you're going to all have a fabulous Valentine's tea party with your mothers, fathers, and friends. And a wonderful thing to add to a tea party is music. If someone plays an instrument, have them present a song. You know, this is what was always done in the olden days. And in France, it was called a salon. And they would have someone come in and read poetry, and someone else come in and play an instrument. Someone come in and give a little lecture. So we can have intellectually stimulating events, and we don't have to wait for someone else to think of it. We can create the event. Always remember that. You are the event. Don't be afraid. Be bold and brave. And when it's moved by love to give to others, it will always work, and it will always be a blessing. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you are all very special, and that you are going to have a wonderful beginning of spring. And I encourage you, maybe bake something for Valentine's Day, and maybe share part of it with someone else too. Wrap up a little package like my friend did. This was such a surprise and such a nice gift. It's very, very special. And I just think that we have to be creative and do what's in our heart. You know, the Queen of Hearts in history was a wonderful story about a beautiful princess who would live by her heart. And when she lived by her heart, everything went well. When she lived in faith, hope, and love, her path was simple and straight and filled with flowers. Keeping her eyes up and on her shepherd of love. That was the Queen of Hearts. And then her prince came and found her on the path, gave her the hearts of loving flowers. They fell in love, married, and lived happily ever after. And that is the story of the Queen of Hearts. Let your heart be filled with God's love and God's light, God's beauty, God's hope, and God's faith. Have a wonderful week, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.